Hello. Hi. I had to go get everything set up and I had to escape my in-laws. My father-in-law just got home. Just like, okay, gotta run away, gotta hide. Got everything all set up. Ooh, camera, you're bugging out. There's the camera. Alright, cool. Deep breath. Deep breath. Escaping my in-laws, taking a deep breath. Alright, so I've got some new equipment, new setup, new camera. Let me pull up the camera. Not a new camera, just a new setup for the camera. It's on this arm. Should be able to keep, as long as it's over here, I'll be able to focus on it, which is better than before when the camera was like over here, and I kept painting all my minis over here. So the focus should be better now. I got myself some liquor. Oops, I just spit all over my desk. So I've also got a wet palette that I'm trying for the first time. It doesn't seem wet enough, but I don't know. Never used one before. And I had one of those little like flushable water brush cleaner things, but that didn't work. Didn't have enough seal, I just dumped all the water everywhere. So still using my normal brush. But I guess we can get started right away, because it's not like I'm really waiting on anything. Pull the mic a little closer. Nope, that blocks my camera. Pull the camera closer, mic over it. Perfect. Not really perfect. Adequate. So I've got just dozens of these little guys. Every time. Still can't get the camera to focus in the right area though. But that's just the quality of the camera. But yeah, I've got so many of these little guys. But my wife helped me out with these bases. We got it's like a texture paper. Actually, I have another set of it right here. Tamiya diorama material sheet. And I've got, oh, camera shit in the bed. Come on. Oh, I hate this camera so much. Okay. Tamiya diorama modeling sheet. And we just run it through my wife's Cricut. Okay, camera. What is up? Camera's gonna keep crapping out on me probably. Oh well. Anyways. So we run it through the Cricut and we just kind of made some right cuts so I can just kind of slip it onto their bases. Gotta cut out the feet, slip it on, and then slip them in. And it works great. 23 millimeter circle. And yeah, works pretty good. I wish they were stickers. They'd stick on so much easier. I gotta like, once they get like some of the paint on them, or not paint, but the glue, and they absorb it a little bit, they swell up and wrinkle a little bit. So I don't quite get the seams that nice. I gotta push them back down when they're done. Let's pull that guy off so he can get painted. But I have literally dozens of these guys. Let's just toss on a handful of Sword and Shieldmen. I didn't even bother to prime my Spearman yet, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, I do have another tray of them. Yeah. Gonna see how many of them I can get through today. So I want to start with their skirt-looking things, their tunics. But all my paints are in a pile. Corvus. That's what I used last time. So, how do I use a wet palette? Let me lower my chair a little. My brush. So I have not used a wet palette yet. I guess the idea is that the water underneath should keep paint moist and pliable. This just doesn't feel wet enough. Maybe over here where it got all kind of shitty, but no idea. Garbage brush. I don't know. I feel like I have to add a little bit of water to it. But then it almost looks like it's too thin when it touches the paper. I have no idea. That's a YouTube tutorial or 3 before we get this down. Alright, let's get the tunics done. I'm gonna have to pull up. Where's my other guy? Oh, he's in a case. Oh, he's in a case somewhere where I don't know where that case went. Here he is. Oh, it was right on top. Nice. That's the guy I did previously. So let me make sure I'm covering all the same spots. Make the guys pretty uniform. Hey, Cat. What's up? Cat's here. He's going to be a pain in the butt. Alright. Get the tunic. At least a base coat under the tunic. Clean that brush off. That's just my mixing brush. Alright, let's see. Oh, it does look like it's pulling some water out of the sheet on the bottom. If I slide the camera over a little bit, and then slide to mute it, that gives me better armrest. Alright, cool. Still working on my setup. What did I do his pants? Okay, I did his pants the same, I just didn't highlight them. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have added that water. It looks like it did dilute a little bit. Yeah, I've got quite a backlog to work through. A lot of it's just carrying over from my friends and siblings' own armies that they gave to me. I'm still painting them out of frame, aren't I? There we go. Subconsciously, I'm going to manage to avoid every single... Oh, you know what? I can adjust the camera, can't I? $200 is a really good, like, learning spot. Because anytime I've managed to take, like, a group to a tournament... Well, I mostly played Isengard. So any tournaments were like, okay, yeah, some generic captains, maybe a named hero, but the generic captains can usually hold their own pretty well against other generic captains. And then once it gets higher, it's just like, okay, here's Glorfindel, and okay, all of these orcs are dead. It's like, okay. Ouch, that hurt. There goes all of the might I had. But I've got a handful of heroes. But I've always, when I was little, I was always afraid to paint them. So I was always afraid that they'd turn out real sloppy, and then I'd get better, and I just have these sloppy, goofy looking heroes. So instead, I just never painted them. So I've got a whole bunch now. I might even have... I might have all of the one for Gondor. No, I don't have Boromir, the White Tower. Just regular Fellowship Boromir. Yeah, 200 points is a good starting spot, especially with like just generic heroes. Because once you get into like named heroes and trying to keep track of all their rules, it can be a little daunting trying to remember everything. Because I've been in tournaments and just been like, oh, I guess I'm going to lose this turn. Oh, no, wait. Special rule. Special rule. Don't let my guys die. I completely forgot. He's got the special rule that lets him completely ignore this shit you just put him through. But then there's like the sportsmanship of just being like, well, I forgot that, so I'm not going to make you redo stuff. Although that also depends on how sporting they're being. The last tournament I was in, I completely forgot to put a bannerman on the like he was part of my warband. I just forgot to put him in, and I remembered like I asked my opponent, hey, can I put him in? I won't put him in like the middle of the fights or anything. I'm just gonna put him like in the back of the warband, out of the way, so that he can catch up. My opponent wouldn't let me. I was like, okay, fair enough. That really is my fault. But I was using Grima in his warbands, and so he spent a bunch of might, and I was like, oh no, remember, that's Grima. That's gonna cost you 2 might. And he was pissed and was like, you're gonna make me like spend the extra might now? I wouldn't have done those if I had remembered. And I was like, yeah, you can go ahead, and not my fault you forgot. But afterwards we kind of came to a truce on it. Yeah, just like learning how to use the generic heroes and like the basic abilities is always a good start. Dr. Wife and I have even played a couple games that way, so this is actually, the wet palette actually is really working pretty well. Excuse me. Just like my Lothlorien forces versus my Uruks. Just been like, alright, hun, a couple times per game you can do this or that. That worked. Alright, I think it's tunic, pants, sleeves. What does it look like around his neck? Alright, their armor's pretty tight around the neck, so there's no gaps there. Alright. Do have to redo his base. Alright, oops, cat fuzz. More tunics. Yeah, let's just thin out a little bit. So it is, I do have to do 2 coats on all these guys as I go. That's my bad. Oh, another cat fuzz. Actually, this is just regular fuzz. Originally, my friends and I had gotten into this when it first came out, and the rules were a little different. I can't remember if they had points. I'd have to find my old books. I'm sure they did have points, but we never bothered to point match. It was always like, alright, 100 Moria goblins against Gandalf. Go. And then, like, Gandalf would blast, like, 10 of them together and kill a bunch at once. I think we did a few games where just like all of my good versus all of your evil, or vice versa. So I've got Ring Wraiths trying to black dart Gandalf while the Balrog comes up from behind. What is that? What is that? Is that... Okay, that is part of the armor. Then I went and painted right over the armor. My bad. Did you get started with the one of the starter boxes? I used to have... I got the Pelennor Fields starter box before the new one came out. Now I'm trying to save up enough store credit to get the new one. A lot of the old starter kits were just generic troops. But since we were kids, it was like... And our parents didn't play or really understand the game too well. It's kind of like, why am I going to pay $30 for 2 guys when you can have this $60 box for 40 guys? It's like, yeah, I guess, but I'd kind of like a hero or two to lead these guys. That's why I like the Battle Host boxes. I got the Gondor Battle Host box as well, because the part of me is just like, also at the same time, besides playing, is just collecting. Like, I've got like 10 different Sarumans. Can I use 10 Sarumans? No. But I want all the different poses. So I think the only one I'm missing is Sharky. But so I got the Gondor Battle Host because like I don't have any Rangers. I already have... I got so many Warriors of Minas Tirith. But I didn't have any Knights, and I didn't have that Gandalf and Pippin sculpt. Oh, there's his sleeves. So I got that one. I usually try to get the MTOs of some of the older models if I can. Because, like, some of these guys are expensive. I managed to get a metal Prince Imrahil, like $20. On foot and mounted. And I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's going to go for like $30 just for one of the poses. So to get both was nice, but... Some Osciliath veterans. Alright, that's... Get a little bit up in there. Alright, it's 2. Yeah, I got a 3D printer so I can get some... I'll try to get proxies for poses. The wargs and the Urks I painted on my last stream were proxies I had just for poses. Because I've done that with like the Berserkers. It's like, okay, they only come in 5 poses if I count the guys holding the flaming brand for the bombs. And if I've got like 16 of them in an army list, I'd like a little more variety. Or there's some models they just never made. Grima Wormtongue on a horse is one. It's like, oh, well, we want you to make a conversion. It's like, I don't have the skill for that. Green stuff is something I cannot figure out and work with. I've never been able to get it to stick to whatever I wanted it to. It always sticks to my hands, and then ruins this whatever I was trying to sculpt. So I just got one. I got myself a pretty good deal on a 3D printer. So I got like the Medbury miniatures one. I just printed that. I forget the guy's name. You know, because they can't use the official copyright names, but back at his knees. I'm liking this wet palette. Muscled orcs is one I see a lot for the Uruks. Dark Lord is generic enough for Sauron. I have to set this one guy's got to go. So I didn't get primer up under his neck, so that part of the armor is just gray. Oops. Let's see. Let's done with this guy. A couple spots on here look like they're going to need touching up. So I'm going to set him to the side a little bit. It's like I think part of the paint just got a little thin and is whatever the opposite of pooling is, it's separating and sliding out of the way. How many poses do these guys come in? Oh, okay. It's like 4. To get his pits. Here are my in-laws downstairs. Spent the early afternoon prepping dinner so my wife could avoid her parents. They don't have a good concept of personal space. Oh, shit. Oh, that must have been a repair. That sword came right off. Just snapped. Oh, yeah, this is a repair. So that is actually a piece of the metal flash from a metal model that was sword shaped enough. I used it to repair this guy's sword to replace it. I have a little pair of jeweler's pliers and tools that I use to I don't want to say smith the pewter bits, but I guess I kind of smith the pewter bits into shape. I just squishing them, but that is essentially all blacksmithing is, just squishing the metal into the right shape. Oh, the resin. Ugh. Yeah. The Forge World, I guess, is pretty good. I've only gotten one model in the Forge World resin, but the fine cast is just terrible. People have said to heat it up. I haven't done that myself. Any good super glues out right now? I think you can kind of stick it in some hot water, like fairly hot water, and for just a few seconds, just enough to get it a little bit soft, and then try and flatten it while it hardens. That might work. Oh shit, the paint was still wet. You gotta be quick, both in how long it's in there and both getting it out and setting it. Because I have some Rohan houses I 3D printed, and they were in a hot car for like 30 seconds. That's an exaggeration, but it wasn't long, and they all kind of squished and melted. So I had to like stick them in a hot pot and pull them out real quick, and they squished back into shape really well, but it was still just like, oh shit, what do I do? My whole village is melted. Alright. The super glue sucks. Super glue is always like, it'll glue your fingers immediately, but whatever you want to glue, it will not touch. I have to hold this, but it looks like my super glue is trying to leak. Alright, stand yourself upright, buddy. You could probably, like, sacrifice a model part. How's that going on? That seems to be okay-ish. Like, maybe if somebody's got a spear or something. Because I've got some of the Galadrim Royal Guard or whatever they are, with their long pikes. Here. And they're a little wobbly, but I didn't alter any of them, but I guess you could always, like, cut the end off, drill some hand holes in them. Fix them that way. And then like use one as like an experiment. All the paint came off of his tunic when I picked him up. Never got the bag of his leg. It's not coming off the brush though. Cleaning can be a little messy, but I also don't use gloves. I should really use gloves when I use it. I got mine from Creality. It was on sale. It's only cost me like 180 bucks, I think. it takes up like the same amount of space as a mouse pad. I just have it in my garage. Everything, it's been pretty great so far. Like the only thing it has trouble printing is really fine stuff, and it's just because they might snap. Brush to get that off his armor. Oops. But that kind of goes for all resin printers. And like little trial and error when starting out with it to try and figure out like if you get a pre-supported model, just print it as is. If it's not pre-supported, oops, yep, that's right. That was the guy with the shitty sword. Broke it right off again. Stuck it back on, I guess. This isn't the best super glue. I think my super glue is drying out. Get that up in here and out there. A little bit more on his armor. So you'll get like a little trial and error of how you have to set up. I'll glue that on later. Let me cut the groove out of his hand now, though. So this guy. So some of the pre-supported stuff, it's almost always good if it's pre-supported. If it's not, you really have to figure out like if I print it at this angle, where the support's going to show up. If I can print it at this angle, it might save some space, but this delicate part's going to be more exposed, or it's going to require a bunch of supports I'm going to have to snap off. Usually like thin dangly bits can be like shoved off to the side, or not shoved off to the side, but like set up so that, oops, was the blade on my finger. Really gotta set them up so that they're like the last thing to print. And whatever you can do to reduce the surface area. Let's go have an example. I've got some bats over here. I threw out all the ones. I took like 4 or 5 attempts because there was like a. Here it is. I tried printing up this bat model. This is like one of the few successful ones, but like this gravestone tree stump thing ended up being it was kind of angled like that, so it had a thicker surface area, and it failed so many times. So I just made the model like hollow to a certain point, and so that big cross section ended up wasn't just a solid thing; it was not just a ring, which stuck less. This dead Space Marine didn't fare the same though, because it's a little hard to see, but his foot kept peeling off in layers and not adhering, so he kind of looks like this foot is made out of a stack of paper. But he's a casualty, so I'm just gonna chop the leg off and stick him somewhere on my friend's board. But that guy's drying. Okay. It's the guy I need to put more on his neck. Alright, next guy. Yeah, I've got a resin and a filament. And so any like the large building stuff, I just put on the filament. I feel like it doesn't have to be at that scale, it doesn't have to be like super detailed or anything. And then minis and smaller scattered terrain that are gonna, you'll get a lot of the filament lines on them if they're that small, and that'll really ruin the detail. It's one thing for a house to have some lines on it. It's another thing for those lines to be like completely through a guy's face. Resin ones are certainly easier. I had to troubleshoot my filament one a handful of times. I almost broke it at one point. I didn't realize how part of the filament setup was. So when I did like a minor repair, I just made it so much worse. So it ended up like filling the entire thing with just this big resin plug that blocked everything and jammed up all my prints. This guy. Plus, there's like filaments you gotta unclog and tubes you gotta rerun. Cut and slice them the right sizes. I really like my filament printer, but I haven't printed anything on it in a while right now because I'd have to change out the spool, and that means clearing a line, and just I don't feel like doing it right now. Plus, the one thing I like about the resin printers is that they're limited by the height of the model in terms of printing time, and not the amount of material. So, like, it doesn't matter if you're printing one guy or 10 guys. If they're all the same height, it's going to take the same amount of time. Versus a filament one where it's just the larger the model, the more stuff, the more filament it's got to use up. Which just means because it's just printing the one line at a time, it's got to trace over it more. The resin ones just do it all one layer, like across the board. So they come up pretty fast. I did an entire almond hen with a resin printer. I haven't painted it yet, but it's just down in my garage. But it was a few days. Now, it only cost me like $20 in resin versus buying the Forge World model for like what, $250? So buying the printer and the resin was cheaper than buying the model. I think I'll get. I've got 9 guys here. The one guy's already painted. 7, 8, 9. Let's see if I can get 12 of these guys done. I've already been going 45 minutes. Oh wow. Another flood on there. That happens sometime when I'm when I'm priming in the garage. So a little bit of dust will blow in. One of the reasons I wanted to get all these guys done is because my gaming group is doing a model painting contest that ends in 10 days. It's all for the number of models you can paint. It's like they said in the rules like a Balrog will count just as much as one Hobbit. So I figured I got so many of these guys. We run through them for this contest. Then I spent the first month or so of the contest working on a huge Weathertop model, which I think would only count. I think they counted it as 10 models, but for the size of it, like painting 10 models would have been, painting 20 models would have been so much faster, far easier. But that's okay. I wanted to get it done. That one I printed on the filament printer, just the ruin part, and then I built up the rest of the hill. Plus, I mostly focused on my Isengard. So I really want to branch out, get some more good armies done. So I have a decent Mordor contingency. Contingency? Don't know if I used that word right just now. I have a lot of Mordor. Got a good Sauron painted up. Got the Witch King. That... Actually, I don't have that great of a Mordor contingency. I've got pretty much just the Sauron and the Witch King and then some generic ring rates printed up. Or painted up. They do the job, especially if I'm using Sauron and Shelob, but I don't have any, like, unnamed heroes or anything painted for that yet. But I do have, like, enough to just, like, start. Take 3. Sword. I'll swap this guy out for a different one. Two of the sword guy, shield guys with the sword. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 guys total. Okay. Brush got a little stiff there. Ooh. The VTube studio camera is bugging out a bit. I'm going to continually drop my guys. Might do their faces next. Trying to get the paint into the helmet after you've already painted the helmet is always a terrible idea. A little bit more on the tunics. Really should figure out what position on my desk feels the most comfortable because I keep shifting. I always end up shifting it a little farther away each time. All right, have a good one. Hope you tune in next time. See how many of these guys I can get done tonight. A little bit under his shield. Not his shield. Scabbard. Alright, second coat. Whoops, got a bit on the armor. Fortunately, I'm understanding you can just like brush it off the armor. Right when it's fresh. Oops, I did forget that little bit in here. Back to the knees. That went a little thick. I lost some definition there. Just wick it away. It's fine. One more guy's almost done. Right. Oh, this side of his shoulders. Alright, next guy. Assembly lining these guys always gets so tedious, but on the other hand, I'll be able to get so many of them done this way. Maybe so tiring. Really nice to have some like more defensive models. especially with the shield wall rule. You know what? My Lothlorien elves should be pretty strong. But they seem to always seem to fold pretty quick, even with the Galadrim warriors backing them up. Where is my main force? Or just my bad luck with the dice. That seems to happen way more. Nothing like rolling a Yahtzee full of ones in a game where that's the fucking worst. Oh, I should get an armrest. He's back at the boots. Hear my father-in-law banging around downstairs like a bull in a china shop. The man has no finesse. That is his first coat. Sometimes with metallics, it's kind of hard to tell what's just wet and what's actually been painted over. Knees again. You can always be a little sloppy at this stage. I don't care if I'm covering up straps, I'm about to paint over them anyways, so. The dark gray behind him just gives him a little more. This guy's swordsman. A little more definition. Throw in my guys. It's there. Gotta stretch. I'm liking this wet palette. I'm looking pretty good. Knees. Whew. Sun is starting to set out there. This room does not have great lighting. We're like the side of the house, like 8 feet from the next house. And our windows in this room face that way. This used to be my aunt-in-law's room, and then we kicked her out. Took it. I kicked her out. I mean, she was a pain in the ass. My in-laws got sick of her shit. And she up and abandoned them and moved to Florida. Oh, Florida. Okay, it does look like the paint on the palette pulls up a little water, thins itself. It's actually really, really nice. It does get a little thin after a few minutes, but get back into. Here, a little bit more there. What if I just move the camera over? There's a crazy idea. I've got better position. Okay, I guess I don't need the mixing water. That's why I had it on here for the first, in the first place. I always have to keep a little thing about clean water. That way I can always thin some lighter colored paints, but wet palette's working pretty well. So I guess I don't need that anymore. I do have to clear the dried crap out of here every once in a while, though. It's really caked in the brush. There we go. Isopropanol works great. Acetone works great too, but it will melt plastic brushes, so. Let's get the tunics done. How are his arms here? There. Back of the knees. Oh, I think this is the last I had to do on this guy. Okay, he's set. I threw him. Alright, 2 more for tunics. under his tunic. I don't really know what a tunic is. It's just like a long shirt with a belt. How common were they in medieval times? Was that just like, how long did it take them to figure out pants? I know button flies are a much more recent invention than you would have expected. Oh, I thought I just dropped in the paint. Looked up for 1 second, dropped the model, and thought I rolled him right in the paint. The paint is getting a little thin at this point. It's starting to beat up. I'll put it on the model. Boom. Back to this knee. Hard to do any. No, that's kind of part of the armor, almost, maybe. Oh, I bumped the camera. I'm gonna let him dry a little bit before I do his last coat. Under his nuts. Got a little bit on the armor. That's a quick wipe to clear it off. Set the tunic. Oh, I should probably paint my trebuchet crew next. No, what am I thinking? I'll do a hero next. I have like several Faramir's. I haven't painted a... Whoops. Finger in the paint. I haven't painted a Gandalf the White yet. Maybe a Denethor I could paint. He's got that rule of Gondor is mine and no other rule, though. Dry. A bit more here and there. Oh yeah, I never mentioned what paints I was using. Primed everything, lead belcher spray, and then doing the tunic with Corvus Black. Corvus Gray? Corvus Black. Whatever the heck the name for that paint is. Okay, that's good. All right. Last tunic. Oops. I keep bonking on my head. So after I finish the tunics, I'm going to do their faces. It's just faces? Oh, cool. That's the only skin. It's just their faces. I hate painting skin. It always turns out off color. Everybody looks a little sunburned, a little gray, or a little green. So I bought I guess, whole skin tone set. The skirt. Packs the arms. Back of the legs. Okay. That is a little more on the front. That was a little thin the first time. Alright, that is all the tunics. 11 tunics later, we'll use a couple drops of paint. Nice. So, you know what? I can do another guy. Let's do. The fuck is my captain? Captain. Let's do captain while we're at it. Alright, here's the captain model. Hope I've got enough. Don't want to have to mix any more paint, but alright. Generic captain. Yeah, I'm gonna need a little more paint, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll just be a tiny blob to finish him up. A little bit of his old paint is showing through. I got this guy secondhand. He had a lot of red paint on him. I'm not sure what it was supposed to be. If it was just whoever had him before, like, just added more color to the character. But I stripped everything. Acetone and metal minis. It takes it right off. That is real quick. A thick toothbrush. The brand new shiny pewter in minutes. Oh, look at that. There's a little bit of sprue flash. Alright, look up. I can see a couple bits here and there. Alright, let me clip those. I also forgot to check over the secondhand models to see if they had any bits. We got a little bit on his boot, around to his toe, his other toe. Is that flash? That's flash. That's not a bolt. Snip there. One more on the scabbard. Alright, not bad. I missed those. Alright, bits. They are too small for me to pick up with my fingers. Alright, I do need another little drop of paint. Alright, whoops. I will drop and throw my minis constantly. Especially the metal ones. I don't know why. I wonder if I'm just like... Almost if I'm not expecting... There's the flash point right there. I wonder if I'm like not expecting the weight. Or they're small and delicate, so I handle them lightly and then end up not using enough force to hold on to them. Alright. I accidentally diluted that bit too much, didn't I? It's going on almost translucent. But it's thickening up. Paint thick. Alright, captain sleeve. I found a little diagram before that showed, like, for the movie details, the different captain helms for their different ranks. And it went into like more detail than this game has. So it went into like captain, lieutenant, and all that, but the game just has captains. So we'll just, aside from like Faramir and the who's part of the royal family and the what are they? Guards of the Fountain Court with their mithril helms. Most people just have like a little bit of He's good. He's good. He managed to miss the paint. Most Gondorian soldiers just have the standard steel, and then some of the captains have like gold trim or something on their helms. A bit more on the edge here. Back to the knees. His boots come up a little higher than the other guys. Alright, second coat time. If I can stop swinging them around. Face. Alright. I didn't get as much on here as I thought I did. Right. His arm. It is nice that everybody's dressed the same way. Means I can get a generic captain done at the same time. It's my generic soldiers. Come on. There we go. It's dark enough I have to use the shine from the wetness of the paint to tell where I've just painted. Yeah. It's my elbow. Ouch. Finish up this little edge on his armor. Back of his knee. Back of his other knee. Strap on his boot, my bad. There. Alright. Captain's good. Alright. Where's my new flash tone kit? Alright, this is the Vallejo WizKids How to Paint Flesh Tones. So I need to do heavy wash cadmium pale. Okay. Heavy skin tone. Pale. Cadmium. Heavy tone. This is just going to be the tiniest little drop with these guys. Yeah. And the faces are so small, I'm going to grab a smaller brush. Oh shit, where did I put my other brush guard thing? Where did I lose that? Shit. Well, that's lost somewhere. Found it. Put them, these wargs in the corner. One little drop. That is really thick. That's really thick. But it's also small, so we'll just get a wet brush. Yeah, that was just trying to add a little tiny drops of water. Let's get this pliable. All right. Smaller brush. Here we go. Let me start with this guy so I can get him glued and paired. Oh shit, I forgot I was gonna do eyes. Do the eyes first, then I can like go and you can use the skin tone to cut off the shape of the eyes. You can just do like the dots and the slits. Then use the skin tone to get everything in the right spot. Then again, these guys are so small. Like this guy's got it. It was a little rough. I don't know if I'm gonna do that with the rest of these guys. I'll do it for the captain, but it's just such a pain in the ass. Alright. Alright, alright. Let me get that guy repaired. Put a big blob on it because I want it to actually stick. Hold still on its base. Smash this whole thing right into this glob. I don't care anymore if it looks nice. I just want it to stay on. Sit there and dry, motherfucker. Alright. Let's see what the eyes on the captain. Teeny brush. I'm not even gonna put the paint on here. I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit on the nozzle. This guy's punishment is he has no eyes. That's his punishment for breaking. Just put a little teeny dot right there. Little teeny dot. Alright. Tiny eyeballs. Here we go. So hard to tell. When it's metallic, it's so hard to tell what's what. Just the way everything shines and lights up. Is that the eyeball? Is that the bag under his eyeball? I see more fudge from the spring. Go. Yeah, it's just like swipe over the whole area with white. Dot one spot. I need some booze. Cheers. It's just lemon juice triple second spray. Sometimes it's like the benefit to having a small brush that hooked a little bit. You can kind of scoop the brush into the helmet. The other downside, though, is that like it's hard to aim if you can't see where the tip is exactly. And if you paint the eyes so they're looking to the side, it looks much better. You don't really. Well, somebody downstairs just dropped something, and I heard some glass break. Like I said, bull in a china shop. Zero finesse. Zero physical, mental, and social awareness. Self-awareness. What he broke. Hope it wasn't anything of mine. But I also hope that my wife's not going to be too. So. I dropped one of my paintbrush tips again. Alright, there we go. Alright, so tiny brush. No, I really didn't give him eyes. I forgot. I actually was going to give him some eyeballs. I have to be much more careful putting his on. Yeah, he's a little googly-eyed. I'll fix that. You can fix it in post. No, we can't. We gotta fix it now. Alright, Captain here is kind of looking back anyways, so... What the fuck am I even looking at for his eyeballs? I missed his eyeball. I got his eyelid. Big old cartoon eyes. They look so goofy. It's so fucking goofy at this stage. Right. I don't think that even went on. The brush was just wet enough that it, like, pulled on the side of his helmet. Eyeballs. God, I hate painting eyeballs. One after another. Hey, he's only going to be slightly googly-eyed. Good for him. Good for him. He's okay. That just I have to make him look at the side now. And that's not an eyeball. That was just a massive black hole in his face. That one worked. That one guy worked. Everybody else is terrible. Captain probably is too. Almost certainly. This pose isn't so bad. This guy's working out okay. Deep breath. Alright, so how about these guys? Yeah, it looks like if I go in from the front and just swipe down. Yeah. I mentioned a perfectly teeny little dot. Yeah, that guy didn't work out so good. I fixed it. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. Right. Oh, shit. That sword's a melting. Asshole. Come on, damn it. Try, motherfucker. To get less shitty brand of super glue. That would help hold him more vertical. 540. Alright. Skin tones. Tiny Gondorian. Faces on metal models are always so difficult. First, I'm going to go through all their chins, mouths and chins. I'll take the finer brush to go and trace around the eyeballs. Oops. Looks like it thinned out a little from the wet palette. As I've said numerous times now. But being able to work with it is much nicer. And having to constantly dilute and have some of it dry. That's why all my paint trays look like this. It's all just spots and blobs I was working with, and part of it dried, and then, you know how it is. This guy is so googly-eyed. Super googly-eyed. Super googly brothers. No, is this going to cover up my eyes when I do the other coats? Shit. Oh well. That's okay. That's okay, I can live with that. Is that Pancakes out in the hallway? Hi, honey. Hi. He was not hanging out in here. He was probably being a creepy stalker somewhere. Hey, Pancakes. If you want to just remove his toes, that would be great. Pancakes, we got some wire cutters here. We're gonna use them to remove your little toe beans, buddy.
We go paint some stuff. I have rice cooking.
Okie doke.
Are you opening this one?
I will. Soon.
Just don't want to make this.
Storage table?
Yeah.
Don't worry. We have ADHD out the ass, so a lot of our projects tend to get front and center in our living space. I've got some bone box stuff to open soon. Touch this guy's neck. One of my favorite things about the Urukai is that their helmets completely cover their eyes. I don't have to. I bet 250 Urukai. That's 500 eyes I did not have to paint. Roughly. Some of the scouts. Lurtz, Mahor, Vrasku. The named guys. This was far more paint than I needed. Which I guess is good. I guess it goes a long way. But shit, now I know. Tiny blob for the Vallejo skin tones. It does feel like it needs just a little bit more water, but yeah, that part certainly did. My paper is getting a little wrinkled and dry. What if I just drip water onto it? That work? Watch as I fuck up my paint. Probably shouldn't have put all the water there. But if I can get some of it... Oops, I made a mistake. This is my bad. We'll be okay, though. We'll be okay. I'll be okay. If I just tilt it. Just let it flow into the corner there. This hydrofoam stuff is weird. It was all like slimy when I got it wet. I don't know if that's like something mixed in with it or what, but I think that's what it is. All right. All right, I gotta stretch. Oh. All right. Grab my toes. Stretch. Grab my toes. Here we go. Let's get some of these eye sockets. Same guy we just finished up with. My shitty eye painting has left him oops. This guy's very squinty. He does not trust anybody. He doesn't trust that wizard and the little guy that showed up. He doesn't trust Denethor. He doesn't trust Faramir. He doesn't trust anybody. Almost works. Get a little bit here. He's almost got eyes. He's all right. Right. Looks like if I go and do the top lid first. Then it only looks a little terrible. I can kind of square up little spots to I can like work my way up to his eye. So that looks much better on this guy. I wish my camera was high def enough to show you, but this worked really well on this guy actually. Yeah, shit. That worked great on this guy. Camera. Oh, yeah, I don't have enough focus to show you. Damn. Oh well. Alright. So I guess that'll be the technique for this. Do the dots. Paint the upper lid. Come up from the bottom. This is working great, actually. This next guy came out pretty good. His eyes are actually eye-shaped. His one lid's a little wonky, but it's getting there. Oops, I immediately stopped following my own directions. Buddy, I hear you crying. Cat's crying again. Buddy. That's the middle cat. He's crying. He's lonely. He left the room and now he's lonely. Buddy, come here. All right. So paint the dots. just over the whole eye, and the upper eyelid inside the helmet, and then work from the cheekbones up. Maybe I'll make like a obviously I don't have the camera specs to do like a good tutorial with actual images, but like more diagram like, I guess. I'll just draw like a generic face outline and then just fill in where like colors and stuff can go. How to work up from the bottom. Cheekbones. Yeah, it's working great. Unless the paint gets a little dry, then it kind of clouds in there. They do look a little bit Muppety, but they're fine. Muppety eyes are better than no eyes, I think. That's the guy with the black eye. Just do that for my Skilly veterans. Looks like he's got that Egyptian eye wing eyeliner on. Cheekbones. Faces are much better. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more faces. Wish I'd figured this out when I did all my Galadrim. Yeah, it's not too bad. All right. I'm not looking forward to painting this guy though. That stupid sword keeps snapping off. This guy is experiencing some face melting. That's my bad. Quasimodo shaped face here. Okay, that one's real bad. That guy came out terrible. Oh, that's right. I already did most of his face. So let's just touch up a little bit on the eyeball edge here. That was it. That's all I needed. His eye's better. Cool. Captain. Oh, Captain, not Captain. problem with these guys is the metal minis just seem to have rougher faces. It seems harder to get the paint on the right spots. Oh boy. Oh boy. Damn, his face is rough. His face is real rough. Alright. I did kind of wipe out his right pupil, though. Dust. Did kind of wipe out his right pupil. So let's see if I can fix that or make it worse. Yeah, fixed. Cool. Whew. Alright. So yeah, I used way more paint than I planned to for the faces than I needed. Alright, faces, good. Let's do... trim him up too. Let's do Abaddon Black for the shields. I don't do any washes yet, but some of that. This spot here looks like it's flowing and absorbing water pretty quickly. Garbage guy, let's get you done. I actually don't know how much of the shield I should be doing all black. It doesn't require a couple coats though. Almost. Yeah, it didn't come out black, it just came out like a mushed gray. I can touch up with the flat belcher everywhere I need to. I want to go with a larger brush for this. Yeah, I'll give a larger brush for that. Fine. I think I'll do these guys in little triple batches just because I can get the same pose one after another. Also not really having, like, it'll also give enough time in between guys to dry fully. You really have to do that if you're trying to put a thicker coat on something. Otherwise, it just seems like it wipes away. least this brush still has a decent tip. My camera all set up so you'd hold models right in center frame, and I just can't seem to keep my hands in center frame. Well, I can drop them in the paint, so. Shit, I put them on my desk. My bad. Stay down. Wipe my brush all over other people. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. I am a messy painter. Now when I'm doing the paintings, I'm swinging my brush around, hitting other things, sticking my fingers in wet paint. Shields. Part of my desk is splintering and sticking in my wrist. Feel fine. All right. Back to this guy. Oh, this one requires 3 coats. Yeah, I'm gonna hit it with a wash at some point, maybe. I don't know if I need to do that with this dark black. I don't know if it would have any effect, but like, I'm gonna wash after I get the Fuck! It's this guy again. Would you just hurry? Oh fuck! Sharp metal bit. Would you hurry up and glue? Damn it! I have to like drill and pin that guy's hand. This guy is next. It's actually eating up black paint faster than I think the tunics did. I think that was like an hour ago. Who even remembers an hour ago? I barely do. This guy's sword isn't broken. He's not causing me any trouble. There's a bit on there. Get out of here. Some little dried, crusty chunk. I'm gonna just keep shifting my workstation like a couple of inches at a time. So I'm completely back over at my old desk and out of the view of the camera. Alright, let me take a look at these guys. Yeah, that looks better once it dries a little, this guy. Yeah, it looks better once it dries a little bit. Well, I still have some paint. Let's do the captain. Back and behind his shield. First coat on the edges of the shield. I immediately smudge my finger through it. Oh, there's another little sprue point. It's tiny. Ooh, I just fucking punched my Balrog model. My bad. Hello. I'm painting, there's no category for it, but it's the same company. Middle-earth strategy battle game miniatures. There's no category for it on Twitch, but since they're owned by the same company as Warhammer, I figure, it's just a Warhammer tag. Right now I am painting up some Warriors of Minas Tirith and a captain. I'm also trying out a couple, I was going to try out a couple new items, but new equipment items. Camera setup's good. Using wet palette for the first time, which has been great. But my little like brush washer station didn't seal, so it just dumped the water as soon as I tried to fill it. One of my friends switched over from Middle Earth to 40k, and I was helping him build some terrain, and he paid me back by giving me all of his old Middle Earth miniatures. So my army has been growing rapidly for Middle Earth. Yeah, so him and I used to play together when we were younger, and we had a lot of the same starter sets. So right now, like these guys are some of the guys out of one of the starter sets. I have like 80 of these warriors. Oh, I have a pile of shame that is 1,300 models huge. I forgot to do the scabbards on these guys. It is way more than I will ever reasonably paint, but oh fuck. He fell right in the paint and didn't get any on him. That was a miracle. Whew. Yeah, we have like 1,300 models. And it's because, like, some of the starter kits that, like, my friends and I had. Then my brother, my brother had a few just because his older brother was into it, so he wanted to get in too. But we had a lot of the starter sets, so it's like, yeah, I got 1,300 minis, but it's like almost 100 of these guys, or 100 Moria goblins. It's like, okay, the generic Moria goblins are like. But then I went and also bought like a bunch. Only 70 pieces went to college. And it wasn't the Ogrins. My friend's got a lot of Astra Militarum. But I managed to find him like a whole Ketachan army that a guy was selling for like $120. So I managed to pick that up for him. I want to say it was like 3 mortar crews and like 80 guys plus a couple tanks. I was looking at Tau a little bit. I really like the designs, but it was like right as I was getting off to college, and I was like, I want to, but I won't have the room like in a dorm, and then I just never picked it up because I started getting all these guys because some friends dropped, some picked it up, and it just became so many minis that I was like, all right, I won't be able to get into another game if I have to paint everything. I saw someone painted their Tau army like all white with like bright blue highlights, and I thought it looked so cool. It was like exactly the aesthetic I would have wanted to go with mine. What's a little galactic domination here and there? Oh, it's this son of a bitch with his loose sword again. Alright, I'm just gonna pull your sword off. Oh, super glue just turned into goo. Like, not even like good goo, it's just a gross, gummy goo. I'm sure it'll bond to my fingers as soon as I touch it, but. I gotta get a fresh bottle. Shrek just comes down, hits you in the head, and it's just like. This one's going to be obsessed with trains. This one's going to be good at math. This one's just going to be terrified of talking to people. And Shrek flies away. I think a lot of this went on in one coat pretty good. Oh, this guy didn't. Got to redo his scabbard. Mandatory volunteering. Shit. I will drop my minis constantly. I want those little clicky counters. Maybe I ought to count every time I drop a mini. See if I can avoid getting it up into double digits. Working with metallics and black and a bright light. Makes it so hard to see what's painted, what's black, what's just wet, what got completely missed. There we go. Oops. Dropped his base. That doesn't count as a model drop. I just dropped his base. Well, thanks for popping in. Have a good night. Figure I'll try to. I want to try to do weekly streams, but I know I don't. My schedule can be a little hectic. I'm thinking Thursdays. At least weekly. All right. Have a good night. See if I can get enough black paint to finish this guy's shield. Like just enough to put these cover up these little spots on his shield. Wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. It's too much. It's too much water. Not enough water. That ought to be fine. That ought to be fine. I'm just shoving the brush in my mouth. Get the thick brush on here to cover up this crap. Oh, here's some little kids outside. One of them just ran over the other one in like one of those little kid electric cars. I just hear all this whirring and then a thud. Ouch. Watch out, kid. That guy there. Alright. Piece of shit broken sword. Fuck that guy. Screw you, little guy. I'm gonna be less mad at him once it finally glues, but. Alright, let's see. Next pose. Let's do this sword about the head, guys. Alright. Why is that? Why is my brush all thin? You know what? I'm gonna use the big brush. I'm gonna use garbage brush. Oops. Throw in my brushes. Throw in my minis. Let's see, I think that's gotta be like the 5th or 6th time. Oh, these shields. I might take a break after I finish the shields to go eat. I'll be back. With the big brush, the fat brush. I don't know what this brush is made out of, but whatever it is, it doesn't curl, it doesn't dissolve, doesn't fall apart. But it is just kind of my big brute brush for mixing in mash and stuff. Was that 8 throws? Excuse me. I made a big pot of bindi masala today. I'm looking forward to. Alright, I'm not gonna use the big brush for the scabbards, I'll use the small brush for the scabbards. So let me big brush everything now. Alright. I should look into music rights. Like, what am I allowed to play in the background? Can I play some of Howard Shore's themes? This paint blob spread out so much I can't tell what's a thin layer and what's blob on my palette here. Yeah, that works because it makes doing these shields much faster. Just brewed it on with the big brush. Just front and back, though. Go to the sides and scabbards with the small brush. My father-in-law has no spice tolerance, so even if we just put a little bit of heat into our stuff, I love spicy food. But just a little bit, it's enough to keep him completely like away from any of the food we make. You don't have to worry about it. Usually, sometimes he'll eat it and then complain and throw it out. It's like, you just wasted a whole bowl, motherfucker. Worked hard on that, damn it. You guys were in pretty good positions. Blast it quick and then detail later. Oh yeah, wow, that was real thin on this shield. What if I did this? Move that and did this. Too far. There we go. That's a little more comfortable for me. Being able to move the camera without it just shutting off and falling apart is great. Oh yeah, I haven't figured out if my camera was blinking on and off because it's a bad camera or a bad USB hub. Did I do? No, I just coded. Never did a second color over. That's okay. It works fine. I think it works great. Oh, so I just got stabbed by one of those little guys. This guy is one of my first minis from when I was a kid. And half of his sword is missing because it broke off in my arm. In my friend's basement, is where like our gaming room. His brother had a whole bunch of magic cards. Him and I had a terrain table, and they had these chairs that were kind of egg shaped, kinda if I remember. But they're kind of 60s 70s looking, that kind of retro futurism. Um, so here we are. Our armies are set up on the table, and I go to shift my butt, and that chair just flipped out from under me, and I flew forward onto the table, and it popped up and came crashing to the ground. My little Gondorian soldier here stabbed me in the arm. His sword snapped off in my arm. They were sharp. Got it out okay, but I still broke our board and a bunch of our minis. All the ambient light in the room disappeared as the sun went down. Mm. Yeah, I'd like to get some music playing, but I don't know copyright law at all. Last thing I want to do is like do a long stream and be hit with a DMCA. Hit with a DMC. The devil may cry for him. Ooh, fuck, cracked my neck wrong. Hello. Don't mind me, minor stroke. Excuse me. Burped. Hi, Bert. My apologies. Here you was, right in front of my camera, right there. Oops. Hi, honey. Okay, dokie. Let me get the last main coat on these shields. This guy next. His looks the most more dry than the other one.
Very busy trying to get Clayton to eat wet food downstairs.
Doesn't she hate wet food?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but no, I don't want to give her any wet food right now. She's in a pinch. That's all.
So you're telling me that your parents ignored the person who feeds the cats all the time?
Shocking.
The only one who listens to Dr. Wife. Nobody else does. It's a real shame. She's so smart. Like, so many people are they're so dismissive of her. It's like, I'm sorry. She has her PhD. You didn't finish high school? I don't know if her mom finished middle school. Actually. There's just so much like, yeah, you're wrong. No, she's right. She's very right. That was too much on this one. That's okay. That's really gonna. There. He's not trying it. So let me get these other two guys. Three guys. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, ba. Oh, these shields. That's the double-edged sword of painting guys who are very rank and file. So yeah, paint scheme's easy, just repeat it. The problem is you gotta repeat it dozens of times. So it's supposed to be your glove. See how I keep sliding, I'm sorry. See how this little lump here on the side of the shield? I think it's supposed to be his fist sticking out the side. Okie dokie. Get in there with this side. Still haven't figured out how much of the shield I want to do the silver on the front. I'm gonna touch that guy's shield up anyways, so at least make all my guys match. Oops, that went on a little thick there. That's okay. That's just more paint to smear around the holes. Yeah, side here. Him dry up. Alright, this guy. Trying to avoid getting it on any of their armor. A little difficult with this pose. How close they run it to their chest. That's my nose. Tickles. Little tickly. Alright. Second coat for these guys. Seems so dark. How did I do? Did I do the shield last time? The white on the tree last time. I guess I could always go back and watch one of my streams. But I went back and watched my streams once, and I just to figure out if I had a microphone error. I really should go back and rewatch stuff to make sure I'm not make sure everything's working. But I don't have mental patience for it. Thanks, brain. I am my own mental patient. All right, it's 2 hours and 42 minutes into stream. I think once I get the scabbards done, I'm going to call it at the very least a break. It might be for the night. I had the day off. Dr. Wife did not. So I might just chill with my wife for a bit. We've been watching the 2003 Fullmetal Alchemist. First time I was watching that show, I was catching it just like whenever it was on Adult Swim. And I picked up started picking up the mangas. I did not know that guy got shot in the phone booth. He was my favorite character. So here I am, middle of Borders, flipping through a little manga book, volume 4. I flipped through and I just stop and there he is, splayed out in the phone booth, shot to death. I was like, shit. I was very upset. So naturally, I introduced my friend to it. He was also his favorite character. I assume everybody knows who I'm talking about, though, if you've seen the show. This is going a little thin on the back of his, but that's okay, because I don't care. Wait, what am I doing? What the hell am I doing? I wonder why this guy's didn't go on great. He was still wet. I just went right back into... What the fuck? I'm so confused. Those guys are still drying. These are the guys. Okay, well this guy just... Because he just did his second coat. He's good. He looks still... What the fuck? I am so confused. Did I just second coat all these guys? No. What the fuck? He's good. What the shit? I am so confused. Maybe I am having a stroke. Okay, whatever. Hey, I just have to go over them once and just double check them as I go, I guess. I got yammering away to myself and lost track of whatever I was up to. What was I talking about? Oh well, doesn't matter. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Did you come in here to shit? Please don't. Can't. Hi, buddy. See you later, buddy. What a dork. Alright, I do have to grab a little more. Just a tiny bit more. Because I'm going to need some for the scabbards. Throw in my paint. Did I smack my camera again? It's so hard to see if I'm mixing this too thin or thick. I guess that's the one I already did. Yeah, okay. This is the guy who I got to the back of his shield. I did the front of his shield. Okay. I'm just so confused right now. Okay. Okay. This brush is really jammed up. A little acetone. Like, it's like 10% acetone, 90% isopropyl. Just cram it all back in there. Doesn't matter. Oh. The only time I've ever had it matter is if I was working with really light tans or white, in which case I just have to give it another quick wash in some water. So my boxes and bobbles around. All right, scabbards. I'll hit this brush with that too, actually. It's also got a little bit of gunk in the bristles. All right. 10 minutes will be 3 hours. Well, I guess 15 minutes. I didn't start exactly when I started the stream, so I'll usually give like a 5-minute buffer. All right. It's dark in here. It's really hard to. I gotta keep shifting and changing angles just to. Just thin in a couple spots. Keep separating. Their scabbards. Their scabbards are done. All right, all of their scabbards are done. Did I do yours? I did. Then I dropped you. One, two. All right. What the fuck? Maybe I am having a stroke. could have sworn I hadn't done this guy's yet, but apparently. What the shit? Okay, whatever. I am so confused. I'm confused. Not even that drunk. I'm fine. I paint. I keep painting. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm doing great. I only have 2 of this guy because that was my first guy's model. This guy's shield is even still wet. I think it's probably because they're on the wet palette. Alright, these 3 guys next. These 3 guys after. I'm just gonna keep lining them up on the edges so they can dry a little bit, I guess. I did his scabbard too, right? Yeah, I could use a second coat, it looks like. We only need a little touch up. Alright. Spent the early afternoon. As I was saying, I spent the early afternoon cooking some mild spices to keep my father warm. This guy considers black pepper to be too spicy, often. It's the most pathetically sensitive palate I've ever seen. I don't know if I'm just gonna do these thick enough so they don't require a second coat. If I can get this guy to stand, there we go. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'll just keep going until they work. Yeah. That's really what you gotta do. Just keep going until it works. Unless it doesn't work, then you stop. Back when I was doing artwork for people, I was doing a lot of it's all with pen and ink. And you really had to get used to painting the colors that they actually were versus the colors that they, the colors that they would appear instead of the colors they were. Which was just like, if someone's in a dark room, their light colors are going to be darker. So instead of painting it white, maybe I do it like a mid-tone blue and just do everything else around it darker. So I'd start working on something and be like, okay, this is green. This brown is green. And looks terrible and what is going on. And then by the time I finished it and got like all the other colors in place, it was like, okay, it's fine. It looks great, actually. That green is exactly what this brown needed to be. Scabbards. Only 3.5 left. Two and a half. Then I can eat. I can feed myself. I'll be allowed to consume food finally after all this time. Got a little thin there. Like the kind of thin where like it still has plenty of pigment, but it just beads up instead of coating. I'll flip these guys over so their scabbards aren't absorbing all that moisture from their surroundings. Clock just hit 3 hours. Can I finish this at 3 hours and 5 minutes? For even 3 hours of streaming. Probably not. Don't rush yourself. Let my arm stretch. Getting a little jittery. Touch up these two guys. This guy need a little. Oh, he's fine. It's just the light. Drop. Light drop. Smell it. Bindi masala. Smells so good. I like cooking. It's fun. Try new stuff. Good ways to keep my father-in-law away. You know, good times. 3 or 3, yeah, okay. A little bit to clean up. All right. Let's clean up. Brushes first. This guy's a little moment. Let's just sit. I gotta find a better super glue for that one guy. My super glue's just going bad. Because it's coming out a bit like a gel, and it just seems to take forever to hold. So I gotta get that fixed up and figured out. Get just a new bottle. All right, so in 3 hours, that's 12 guys, if I count the captain. 12 guys, half painted. They're pretty close. I mean, that does cover a lot of it. I still have to. We're still in the base coating stage, so that's still leather straps. No, it's leather straps, and then I can base or wash a bunch of stuff. And then once the wash is done, do some highlighting. But tomorrow I've got. Just let it soak. That's probably a bad idea. I should have gone it into the side or something. Let me move these guys. All these guys can go in the tray. Um, bump. All those guys in the tray. Let me pour the water so it lands on the corner. Absorb on the side, keep the palette wet. That works, kind of, probably, maybe. A stupid broken sword. Brushes, alright. What was I saying? Oh, yes. Tomorrow night I've got a game. So that's my league night. But Wednesday, I'll probably spend some time with Dr. Wife. She didn't get to spend much time with me today because she was at work. Well, she wasn't at work. She was here, but, you know. She's stuck at a computer desk. Maybe Thursday? Paint a few. I'll see if we can finish these guys up. So I just have to leather straps, then wash, and then highlight. I don't really have to highlight the armor. It's just mostly the. I wasn't doing the pants. That kind of helps the pants just stay a separate tone from the shirt. Separate shade, separate tone. And then highlight and focus on the faces a little bit. It's not going to absorb that water. I've never leave that much water in here before. I'd like to see if I can get that brush washer to seal up, because kind of a shame. I really like the little thing. And I'm just using a cup right now. Too big, too small. I'm gonna assume the two big are these guys. Goes away. Small ones away. All right. Dirty wash cup. I should be good with these paints. I got so many paints sitting here in my I'm in the middle of working with them pile, but I'm not actually working with them at all. Some of them I set aside because I was like, okay, these are good for Sarmons, but I did some Urks and Works. They're all these people are getting painted. All right. There's a lid for this. Oops, a little bit of pants on the bottom, so I can put it on my desk without screwing everything up. All right. Wet pallet's done. Everything's away. All right. I'm gonna go eat. I'm probably just gonna hang with my wife tonight. But Thursday I'll see if I can get these 12 guys finished up. And I hope to see you there. For those that turned in, thanks for joining me. I'm always pretty excited when new people come in and chat, because I've been working on this whole VTubing thing for like almost a year, but it's all like, my computer's kind of a potato. It's a Mac. I can't upgrade. I can't like update and upgrade anything in it without voiding warranties and all that shit. So all my stuff has been stuff I've drawn and rigged myself, and I've only been actually streaming consistently. Well, never, but real excited to get it, especially because the painting streams seem to be going over pretty well, and I'm pretty thrilled with that. So, for those that joined, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you on Thursday. My mouse is upside down. I'm trying to figure out how to use my mouse. I'm upside down. I swear I'm not computer literate. But thanks for tuning in. I'll see you later.